Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Joe White from Get Life Coaching. It's time for another edition of Live Free. So my question is, what is your identity? And I don't mean on the surface. I don't mean you're a good person, or you're a father, or you're a mom. I mean on the deepest level. I mean, can there be any question more powerful than that? Your identity, how you identify yourself. To you, to the world, to your family, to your children, to your faith, to everything you do. Your identity will keep you from doing things and will cause you to do things that you may not want to do, just to stay congruent with it. I remember I was caught up in my addiction, living in New York City, and I was dating this girl. I remember, we were talking. I remember just telling her I felt like a worthless piece of crap, and I didn't feel good about who I was. And she gave me some reinforcement. She goes, "No, you're a good person. You're a good person." But I began listing all these things I'd done in my past to prove how worthless I was. And eventually the relationship failed, and I blamed myself, and you know the reason why, because I felt I was a worthless piece of crap. And that became my mantra, my identity for so many years. I remember 5 years clean, raising my hand at a meeting and sharing that I'm happy and excited for these 5 years that I had, but I still felt like a worthless piece of crap. It took me a few years afterward to really understand what I was up against and how it changed who I was. And so many of those early tools got interwoven with everything we do here at Get Life Coaching. At some point, you got to begin to examine who you are. And is this the version of you that you want? Is this the version that's going to give you what makes you happy, give you joy, give you love, give you growth, give you contribution? See, our identity is something which is constantly evolving. I ask people all the time, who are you at your core? Or what is your identity? I get those questions, I don't know, or they'll say something very surface. But at the end of this, we got to examine. We have to examine at the deepest level, what do you desire? If you don't, you won't put yourself out there to follow it. And a decade, 2 decades will go by, and you're still going to be in the same place. See, the biggest mistake that people make is they think who or what they are is exactly going to be that for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years. It constantly evolves. When I was in my 20s to my 30s, it was all about independence. Me, me, me. And it was selfish on the level when I was in my addiction, and it was self first when I was getting clean because I had to take care of myself. But now, 45, my whole life is about interdependence. It's about we. It's about everything I do with Get Life Coaching, my friends, my family. How can I make a greater we experience? My identity today is radically different than it was 5 years ago. And I guarantee when I turn 60, it's going to be radically different when I come to that chapter of my life. But I think it's important to sit down and begin to examine who you are, who you want to be, what you don't want to be. Because that, again, becomes your GPS. So I want to keep this relatively short here. So I'm going to give you some homework. Some things to think about, maybe get your wheels spinning. Look, if you need some additional help, give us a call. I'll hook it with one of our coaches to give you a complimentary session. Kind of can work through this if this doesn't flow through you. But here are the 3 questions I want to give you. The first one is, who are you at your identity? And people go, I don't know. Go beyond that. If you get stuck, write what you're not. It doesn't define you, but at least it begins to move some things out of the way so you can see. Who are you? What do you want to believe in? What kind of man, what kind of woman do you want? What do you want to be driving your life? Number 2, what do I need to do to become that person? See, we have to take action. It's not about writing something down saying this is who I am. You become your identity by working that muscle over and over and over again. And we've done that. I know I did it when I felt like a worthless piece of crap. I said it 16 million times. I said it with emotional intensity. I went out of my ways to prove it. If you take that same type of urgency, that same level of importance, you'll create your new identity. And the secret is, it becomes part of who you are. And the third point, probably the most important part, is why is this a must? Why is it a must for me? Remember, whys come first. How we do this all becomes academic. So again, the 3 questions. Number 1, who are you at your core? What do you want your identity to be at the deepest level? Number 2, what must you do to live that way? Number 3, why? Why is this a must to live your life that way? Can I tell you this? If you don't get the why, you're going to drift back to what you know, or you'll find some level somewhat in the middle of where you want to be and where you are. The relief zone, the comfort zone. The reason why, because your center of gravity is always pulling you. Look, I've been clean now for 18 and a half years. And it's simple. It doesn't matter if you're talking about losing weight, changing your whole philosophy, going from depression to gratitude and abundance. It doesn't matter. Okay, people who get results over consistent periods of time, they've done it by adopting a new identity. Someone asked me once, Joe, would you go out and use? It's always in my realm of possibility, because I would go out there, I would think maybe one is good, then we'll have another one, then we'll have another one. And next thing I know, I'm back into an old pattern. My whole company is built on this story, which is true, that I was addicted to cocaine, I was an alcoholic, and I turned my life around. And that is part of my identity. That warrior, that person that I could go from the depths to happiness and joy. So again, if you need some help, give us a call, okay? Or send me an email, get in contact with me, go somewhere, and I'll hook you with the coach. We'll give you a complimentary session, and you get to work this out, and at least get it down on paper and begin to figure out how can I live this every day. So my 3-minute video podcast is now up to like 6-7 minutes. But the value here can change your life. So get to know you. Until next time, this is Joe White from Get Life Coaching. Live free. Bye-bye.